everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and I am back with this week's WIP and Chat. Now, if you're new, first off, welcome. I'm really glad that you're here and hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, I would love to have you here as part of my community and invite you to subscribe. It's all diamond painting all the time here on my channel. And if you're back, of course, welcome back. I'm so glad to see you again. And in these WIP and Chats, well, WIP stands for work in progress. So I'm going to be working on my current diamond painting project, which of course we will chat about. And the chat part just means I'm going to be talking your ear off for the next hour or so. So feel free to settle in. If you like to work on a project of your own, that's great. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you're working on, how it's going, how you're doing. You could also use this as a podcast, get stuff done around the house, run errands, that kind of thing. Whatever works for you, I'm good with too. Just looking forward to spending a little time together today. Looks like, as always, my cat is looking forward to spending some time with me while I record as well. He's been a little bit more of a diva lately. I don't think he's going to come out and hang out in frame, but he does like to come up here. I don't know if he thinks I'm talking to him. I have this just very dapper and sweet tuxedo cat named Skip, who's 2.5 years old, 3.5 years old. I can't remember now, but he's just, you know how some people refer to their pets as like, sometimes they're like soul cat or soul dog. I kind of feel that with Skip. He's the perfect cat. So anyway, comes and you might get a little bit of crunchy ASMR in the background if you're lucky. Now, as far as what I'm working on and with, not to get sidetracked by the Void Kitty, I'm working on Mani God of the Moon by Chrisabug. It's from Diamond Art Club, and this artwork that I fell in love with from the moment that Chrisabug drew it and shared it. And of course, when Diamond Art Club released it, I had to have it. So it's coming along. I'm well over halfway done now. I actually specifically saved the section with his face here. We're working on it sideways, but that's what we're going to be working on today. So you'll have a little bit of something interesting to look at if you're actually watching the diamond painting happen. But I've completed the whole bottom sections up to that point, and I just have this row and then one more row up here at the top, and then we'll be done. So, and then I got to pick out my next fairy tales and folklore project, but that's good. I mean, it was hard just to land on this one. I don't know how I'm going to pick up my next one, but that is not something I have to decide today. So I'm not gonna. Accessories wise, I am going to be using this, a lot of stuff that I just got in a recent small shop haul. First, I have this pen. Oh, sorry, I forgot I'm zoomed in. This pen is from Lace and Lathe Works, and I was originally using this with a blue tray because I thought that was a nice contrast for the colors that are in this kit. Layson does pen drops. They do blank drops rather on Sundays typically, and sometimes we'll also restock their Etsy shop in between. And then I'm going to be using, this is not Your Mama's Mud that I recently showed in a small shop haul. This one is in the scent Melon Balls, and I'm curious, I don't know if they've changed anything with their formulation, but this is one of the slightly more recent ones. Then in my multi-placer, I'm going to be using this putty from Diamond Painting Putty by Kat. I really like this putty a lot. It is one of 2 or 3 putties that I find to be pretty weatherproof. Skip, I hear you. A little bit of attention. This I find to work pretty well for me, regardless if it's in summer, winter, humid, dry. Putty is pretty fickle. Wax can be too, but putty definitely more so. So if you're someone that's looking for something that's a little more reliable, or consistent, I should say, really, if you live overseas, because they're based in the UK, and if you're over in the UK and don't want to pay like crazy shipping charges from US-based shops, then this could be an option too. And then I'm going to open this up real quick. I got another box in from KC Ventures with a tray in here that they were like, you don't feel like you have to wait till your next small shop haul to open and use it. So I thought, well, I'll open it in my next WIP and Chat, and we'll use this tray because I actually, I have not used, wait, they do a drills and shells tray. Oh no, I'm blanking. I want to use one of these trays. So is really the point of it. So did I get all the tape? I'll make sure my address isn't shown on the top. So I will link all of these shops below if you want to check out some small shops and support them. And I'll also try to link to their social media if you're not looking to shop right now, but still want to keep an eye on what a small shop is doing and support them. So, okay. So just a quick note from them. So this is an Akatar inspired tray. So a cord of thorns and roses, and they included a matching cover minder. So let's take a look. Ooh, look at that pretty royal purple color. So here's their business card and a cover, one of their, I think just a plain cover, cover minder that comes with it. And here's the cover minder, the mountain and the 3 stars. And here's the tray. So it's an ergonomic tray. Now I keep forgetting I'm zoomed in. Someday I will not be a complete amateur at this. This is an ergonomic tray. Now I don't hold my trays while I diamond paint. I just set them flat. But if you're someone that diamond paints on an angled surface or something like that, then having an ergonomic tray to hold could be really handy. So there's that. Thanks to Casey Ventures for sending this over. I'm really excited to give this a try. So we have that, and I need to put in my multi-placer in my pen and load up my pen to get started, and we'll dive into this. Now, this diamond painting, I decided to do larger size sections than I normally do, and I'm actually really enjoying it. If you're someone that deliberately sections off your paintings in a really specific way, I'm curious what your typical section sizes look like. Mine historically have been somewhere around between 11 to 13 centimeters either direction. But for this kit, I looked at the dimensions and I kind of grabbed my calculator and went, what if I only split it into 5 rows? And then the sections ended up being 15.7 centimeters tall, which is it. Originally, I thought that's just really, really big, but I've gotten really used to it and I really do like it. This came about a little bit because my friend Alyssa from Menk Arts and Crafts is kind of known for doing these absolute monster size sections in her paintings. She's also one of the fastest diamond painters I've ever seen in my life. The girl can crank through diamond paintings like it's nothing you've ever seen before, and I love it. And I thought, I'm just curious, I wonder how it would feel. Oh, that washi just stayed right in there. We'll see. That feels like it maybe needs a tiny bit more though. I just thought, what would it be like to work with these bigger size sections? I wonder if I would notice that. Does it make me feel like I go faster or slower? Science. So that's what we're trying. And I've felt pretty good about it. Given that I only kitted this up in last week's WIP and Chat, and I'm probably going to finish it here in the next few days, I'd say that's not too shabby. So anyway, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Do any of you, if you work for someone that gets federal holidays off in the US, or if you have kids in school, what days do you get off for President's Day, if any? Because our kids' school, and I feel like this is really unusual, we get 2 different Mondays off for President's Day. And I literally heard the vice principal, because Connor was asking the vice principal as we were leaving school the other day. She's like, well, one is for Lincoln's birthday and one's for Washington's birthday. And I just thought, okay, well, yeah, we get 2 Mondays off in a row, which I just think is so unusual. But my kids aren't complaining. They get 3-day weekends, 2 weekends in a row. But I really feel like we're the exception rather than the rule with how we have multiple days off. This needs a little bit more putty. Hold on. For President's Day. So I don't know what that's about. My kids hop off school tomorrow, aka today when this video is going up. So I'll be running around with them, trying to keep them busy. I am really behind on comments again. I'm over a week behind. I was doing so well at the beginning of the year, and I was loving it, honestly. Responding to comments, hearting them, just trying to let you guys know how much I appreciate that you're leaving comments on my videos. So I'm going to try to play some catch up. So if you've left comments on my past couple WIP and Chats and you suddenly see these belated responses from me, I always and forever worry that, and I know it's happened before, is what's kind of worrisome to me. I am always worried that someone is going to read into something that I'm doing, oh, she didn't heart this comment or this message, or she didn't respond to this, and they're gonna be like, this means this. And I'm like, no, sometimes it just is that I got really distracted. I really struggle with executive dysfunction. I'm actively working on it, even literally in therapy. I'm trying. I'm really, really trying. It takes like 5 to 10 business days for me to respond to a text from my mom. Like I promise you, it is not personal. I just am ever trying to get more organized and get my life together. So, but I'm gonna keep working on it. I'm gonna keep trying, right? So all this to say, please don't take it personally. Please, for the love, don't take it personally if I haven't responded to your comment here in the past couple of weeks. I'm gonna see if I can play some catch up. Okay, I think we've got this open. We're ready to go. I've been starting with the 310 outlining for the sections in this kit. I feel like it reminds me of like Mandy Manzano kits, if you've ever done one of hers, where it's almost a coloring book style. And so, I don't know, it's like it can be really satisfying to do the outlines either first or last. And so that's what I think I'm going to do. Well, the drills lined up really nicely, so that's a fabulous start. But yes, hi, how are you doing? How was your weekend? What are you up to this week? If you have today or next Monday off, I hope that it is relaxing and restful for you. I made some good progress on this kit here this past week. I kitted this up with you guys in last week's WIP and Chat, which was fun. And did I put some drills down that night? I think I did. And talk about night and day, going from working on Dream by JoJo's Arts from Diamond Art Club, which was released in like 2018 or 2019. And at least my version of the kit was produced around then. And the drill quality, especially, wow, what a difference from then to now. When I poured out my first drills into the tray to work with, I think it was a bunch of 310, and they just all lined up perfectly like a dream. I can use my 12 placer. There's no gapping whatsoever. It was like, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like coming home. I love it. It's wonderful. So that, I think, has made this easier to reach for and to work on. But I've been balancing it with playing some video games and a lot of stuff with my kids lately, especially this weekend. They were really wanting to like read, play games, like do all kinds of stuff together, which I love. I'm diving right into it. But doing a lot of diamond painting in the evenings, which has been really enjoyable. My experience with this kit so far, has been very positive. It is a lot more confetti heavy than I really realized going into it. And so I think that these bigger size sections actually do work for me for a pretty confetti heavy piece. I guess because the color count isn't necessarily out of control, so it's not like I'm looking at a million different symbols. It's just sometimes there's a lot of checkerboarding between different a couple of colors for the transitions or to do like a lot of detail. And so it's a lot of confetti, but it's not like a million different colors, if that makes sense. And I think that's why it's okay that I'm doing these really big sections. I'm imagining if I'm working on like a 275 color Josephine wall kit or something from Diamond Painting Deutschland, I don't think that a section this size would work well with that kind of painting. So it feels very subjective and painting dependent to me, like what size sections will work for my brain. As far as what I'm going to work on after I finish this kit, that's a great question. I know that it's going to be really hard because here's my conundrum. I thought that for my fairy tales and folklore video that's going up this Saturday, that since it's going up on Valentine's Day, I thought it would be really fun to have my video be themed around the story of Hades and Persephone, which is not precisely truly romantic, like pure romantasy, pure romance. I got very awkward there for a second. I just mixed up a whole bunch of different words. There's some tragedy to their story as well. But I just still thought it would be a fun, like apt timing kind of story to talk about on Valentine's Day. So the timing should work out that I could be working on one of my Persephone kits if I wanted to while I'm doing that video. So that's probably what I would be leaning the most towards. That said, I do tend to get in my head about doing too many kits from Diamond Art Club in a row. And I don't know, a lot of it was because of there were a couple of years there in particular where I really had people telling me that that's all that they saw me working on, even though just purely by the numbers it wasn't. I was really trying to alternate, and about every year it's like, yeah, about half the kits I finish tend to be Diamond Art Club kits, but proportional to what's in my stash, it's not actually that many. And so given that I just worked on Dream from Diamond Art Club and JoJo's Arts, and now I'm doing this one from Diamond Art Club, like the only Persephone kits that I have in my collection are also from Diamond Art Club. So if I wanted to work on a Persephone kit, it would be 3 DAC kits in a row, and I'm still very wary of mostly the optics of that. Like, I know where my heart and my mind are and what my intentions and my goals are, and I'm very secure in that, but I am still sometimes I do get anxious about how people might read into that anyway. And that's, I don't know, that's out of my control, and I just do the best that I can. But yeah, it might just kind of be one of those, it is what it is. And I haven't been feeling that same kind of animosity or antagonism from people. Knock on wood. I say that out loud now. I don't know what I just invited. It's like the big joke is you never, ever, ever say, oh, it's so nice how, insert the Q word here, the opposite of loud. You never talk about, oh, how nice, it's so blank tonight or today, or things have been so Q word. It's like, that is, you're invoking the wrath of, I don't know what. That it's just, if you say that kind of thing out loud, you're just inviting trouble, inviting all kinds of shenanigans, and I feel like that's precisely what I just did. So anyway, I might work on a Persephone kit next. It's a matter of which one to work on. The other thing that I would like to mix it up a little bit is maybe to not necessarily work on yet another square drill kit in a row. But I think that most of the DAC kits that I have, even just that fit the theme of this event in general, I think most of them are square drill kits. So it's just going to be a square drill heavy month. But I don't know. You'll know by next week's WIP and Chat, because this, barring something, extraordinary circumstances, this kit should be done by then, and I'll have a new project in progress by next week. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But I enjoyed putting up my first month in review video and showing you guys the first 3 finishes of the year, and trying to figure out what do I want to do with my bingo card this year in terms of what's a cute way that I can mark it off, where I can still see what the square says, but have a cute way of indicating that it's been checked off. So, like, a big old sticker is obviously out of the question, because like I said, I want to be able to still read it. Maybe like a highlighter or something like that, some kind of pen that won't totally cover it. I don't know, open to suggestions, but I want to figure that out so I can actually have that visual representation of how I'm doing on my bingo card. Mani, will he check off a box? I mean, he's, I think, just the Year of Men, which is the free space on my bingo card. I don't know that he otherwise checks off something. I don't think I put a space on there that was like a kit for an event, but that would have felt like a freebie space anyway. But speaking of fairy tales and folklore, Kate put up our first weekly video, including some giveaways on her channel on Saturday, yesterday. So if you haven't had the chance to watch that, go in, take a look. She talks a lot about just sort of fairy tales and folklore from kind of a bird's eye view. And I thought that was a really nice way to kick things off for the event. And This is one of those topics and areas that she and I just both find really, really fun and enjoyable to study and deep dive into. And so it's been really easy to come up with different kinds of video topics because there are so many different possibilities and ways that we could go with it. I still am trying to nail down what I might want to do for my second video, but at least for my first one, like I said, with that video going up on Valentine's Day, I'm pretty, I don't know, unless something comes up that I really is pulling on my brain to do even harder and I can't put it down, I really imagine it'll probably be a Hades and Persephone themed week. Talk about their lore and stuff. I really want to go see Hades Town again sometime. We saw it once when it was here a few years back, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And but I just find that I don't necessarily absorb things, especially music, on one listen. It's like it takes me longer than that to really process and absorb the lyrics and the messaging and everything. So I'm like, I hope it comes to Southern California again soon. That would be so fun to go and see sometime again. Yeah, so we'll see. But if you guys want to join in on fairy tales and folklore, there's absolutely still time. It's a very laid back event, very, very casual. Just hey, here's this thing that we both really love and want to work on some kits in our collection that fit the theme, and there's no new start required, no finish required. We're not even doing grand prizes. We're just doing some weekly prizes from a very small handful of sponsors to keep it manageable for our sake as well. But we're so thankful for the generosity of these sponsors, and glad that we do have a few prizes to give away. So if you want to join in on that, we'd love to have you. Try to think if there's anything else about like videos and stuff this week. Not necessarily. I know it was kind of a sneak peek heavy week. Sometimes it shakes out that way. I almost forgot about the sneak peek that I had to put up today. Sometimes those midweek ones kind of sneak up on me. But there it went. I'm always trying to find ways to make those like little special project style sneak peeks a little bit more interesting. But I know they're not necessarily everyone's cup of tea. So that's completely understandable. But yeah, I had those Avengers coasters this time. They were cute. I'll see if my kids want to do them. But this week, maybe I'll have a little bit more variety for you guys. I have some video ideas kind of in the works, and I'll have my fairy tales and folklore one as well on Saturday. So hopefully it's a good week for videos. I guess I'll give you some just general updates. There was a lot that I remember I talked about last week. First up, Scout, our dog, is doing really well after his surgery. So he got fixed last Monday. And everything went very smoothly. The vet took really good care of him. I felt really bad because I'm going to try to be careful what I say so I don't accidentally say anything that's going to set him off, because he's just snoozing in the other room. And so he does love going in the car, because when we do, it's typically because we're going to be taking him to get a free, I'm going to spell it, PUPCUP, from Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. Sometimes we'll swing through and get him one of those. He loves it. It's his favorite. And so he thought that's what was happening when I put him in the car on Monday morning. Oh, buddy. And then he was so cute and so sweet when we got into the vet's office. He was just making lots of friends and being all lovey and happy and all that. This is the little switch, yes? Yeah, there we go. I'm just a little bit stuck. Just making friends with everybody at the vet's office. And then I dropped him off, and just the guilt. I was like, I know he doesn't know any better, and he's not gonna like never forgive me or anything, but I definitely felt guilty about, oh, you don't know what you're in for, buddy, and I'm so sorry. So he did super well. We dropped him off first thing in the morning, and then the vet called around lunchtime to let us know that he was out and he had done great, and gave us a time to come and pick him up that afternoon. And poor guy, when I went to pick him up, he was pretty out of it, I think from the anesthesia and probably whatever they had given him for the pain right up front. And I felt so bad when we got home. It's like he had a hard time just even settling. I was just sitting on the floor with him, trying to coax him to lay down and curl up, kind of propping him up a little bit in my lap too, because he also had the cone of shame on. Side note, when we got home, when Micah saw him, the first thing that Micah said was, Scout likes the cone of shame. And I just started laughing because he's watched Up a handful of times, and just that he internalized like that was what he was going to call it was so funny, because maybe Adam and I have referred to it as that too, but I mean, Scout's never worn one before, so it's not like Micah's seen one in person, you know? But when he said that, I was just like, well, I don't think he likes it very much, but he is wearing it. And Micah was asking some questions. Connor wanted to know really what was, like, why is Scout going to the vet? What's happening there? Why does he need this done? I mean, Connor's 10. He's my oldest is 10, so it makes sense. And I still sometimes, I'm always trying to navigate things in a very age-appropriate way. And it wasn't like it was a big deal, but it was still like how much detail do I go into about this? And we talked about like the reasons, like this is the thing that you do as a responsible pet owner. And like he's going to recover really quickly. He's not going to have pain, that kind of thing. And Connor was like, okay. And just kept it moving. But yes, he's been in this cone. The vet said that he needs to be in it for 2 weeks. Now, I'm going to listen to the vet. Okay, like obviously, we're going to be rule followers here. But just point of confusion here. When we had adopted the last dog that we had, it was from an animal shelter, like one of our local like county animal shelters. And when we went and, we went like not with a particular dog in mind. We just went to the shelter to look and see if, any dog felt meant to be. And this dog did. His name was Tennant. He was a cute little, we think he was a kind of wire terrier mix. On this like paperwork, it had said like a Chihuahua mix. And I'm like, I see no sign of Chihuahua in this dog at all. Like, I'm not a Chihuahua person. No offense to you if you are. Seriously, they're not for me. Yippy dogs, no, not for me. Did not see a single bit of Chihuahua in Tennant at all, in terms of temperament or looks or anything. Very sweet and a little bit more of a mellow dog in a lot of ways. But when we said, okay, like we want to adopt him, and they said, okay, perfect. So we're gonna have you sign all the paperwork, and then you can come and pick him up on, I think it was like we went and we picked him up maybe on like a Saturday, and they were like, okay, and you can pick him up on, I think it was a Tuesday or something, because they were going to go ahead and fix him before we could take him home. And they didn't give us a cone when we picked him up, and I don't remember specifics. I'm sure they told us to like do whatever we needed to in terms of recovery for him, but we definitely did not have him in a cone when we came home. So when the vet told us 2 weeks for Scout to wear a cone, I was like, is that right? And I don't know. I don't know if it's because Scout is bigger and he's older, like he's basically a year old getting this done, not like quite as young, definitely not as little as Tennant was, but or maybe something about temperament, or I don't know. But Googling said that 2 weeks was really the standard. I just don't remember that that was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. 2014 is when we had adopted Tennant. So I don't know. Anyway, if you're wondering what happened to him, it's really tragic and I don't want to get into it. But now we have Scout, and it's really, really delightful, and he's certainly keeps us on our toes. But Scout's recovering really well. He doesn't love the cone, but he's mostly figured out how to adapt. The main thing that gives him trouble is he can't go up the stairs without help. He can get down the stairs without any issues. He cannot seem to get up the stairs with a cone on, so we always have to carry him whenever we go upstairs. Thank goodness he's not too big to do that, but he's still almost, it feels like he's almost too big for us to be able to pick him up easily. And we are letting him sleep in our bed for now, just because the first night, he just could not get comfortable in his crate. We tried putting like a little pillow or something in there that he kind of prop up on a little bit. And then we also were feeling a little bit nervous about him like being in his crate with the cone on. So we just ended up letting him sleep in our bed, and we're like, well, hopefully once the cone is off, we can switch back to being in the crate at night. That's just how we like to do things. And you know what I also have noticed with him sleeping in our bed at night is my allergies are really kicking up. Like, it took me a couple of days to realize what was happening. It's like, why will my eyes not stop watering? Like, and why do I keep wanting to rub them like they're itching? And I finally made the connection after a couple of days. Like, oh, this is allergies. That's what's going on, is allergies. So we have like an air purifier and stuff in our room, and I'm trying to vacuum really thoroughly because Scout really sheds a lot anyway. But having him in our bed, I just was like, well, this is confirmation that this is not something that we want to do long term, because I think it would just be too much on my allergies. We'll see how fussy he gets about it when we try to move him back. But the important thing is, like I said, he is recovering well. He's still got a few more days of the pain medication. We gave him like a pain medication, an anti-inflammatory, and we just roll it up in some cheese, and it's the biggest little treat for him. And he's still finding ways to play and stuff, even though, of course, the vets like try to minimize his activity and all this. This dog, I mean, we did as best we could, and we're just keeping a really close eye on him, but he wants to play. He wants to chew on his bones. He wants you to throw a ball for him, and we're doing the best we can. But thank you for all the well wishes for him. Hopefully this, in a week's time, he'll get to be out of his cone, and he's not going to know what to do with himself. But let me know, is 2 weeks, like, if you're a pet owner, does that sound right? Does that sound excessive? I don't know. Like I said, we're going to be rule followers here, and we're going to do what the vet said, but I just was very genuinely surprised. I don't remember 2 weeks being how long our pets have had to be in cones after getting fixed before. So I don't know, but no, he's doing well. I managed to get into, well, no, let's say the medicine story for later. Let me tell you the embarrassing story that is not medicine related, which is that I had a misadventure at Aldi this week. So I did finally decide, I had the right amount of time and had a hankering, and decided to go ahead and go to Aldi this week. I've been talking a little bit in my WIP and Chats lately about how I'm apparently in this phase where I'm just enjoying checking out different grocery stores, really in the hunt of good deals. I love finding a good deal. I love the thrill of the hunt, all that kind of stuff. And so I've been doing a little bit more of that lately, like checking out some different stores and just really trying to see, like, okay, what do they got? What deals are here to be had? So I decided to go ahead and go to Aldi. And I had some specific things in mind from tips that some of you guys had given me. I knew about the quarter thing. If you're like, what's the quarter thing? The quarter thing is that I just knew that there was something involved with you needed a quarter to get the shopping cart. And the logic behind this apparently is, well, you push the quarter in, and then that means you get your shopping cart to use. And then when you put your shopping cart back, you get your quarter back. So it's not like you're paying a quarter every time you use a cart. The quarter is just like a deposit that you get back. Apparently the logic behind this is because it's essentially forcing people, like strongly encouraging people to take their carts back, and they don't have to like use an employee to do carts like from the parking lot. It's like people are just bringing their shopping carts back to the cart corral in front of the store, and then they get their quarter back, and Aldi doesn't have to worry about having someone for that, right? I also was aware of the bring your own bags thing, but this was not a big deal given that the state that I live in, which is California, as of this year, the stores can't, how do I want to put it? I think it's a full-on plastic bag ban, where there was like part one of the law went into effect a few years back where it was like single-use plastic was banned in grocery stores, but places that had like just clothing like a TJ Maxx or something could still have them. And Target and Walmart and these other stores would have these like really thick plastic bags that they would kind of use this loophole to call like a multi-use plastic. And you had to pay for them then, right? But this year that changed, and now it's just no plastic bags at all, and that includes non-food stores. And if you buy, they offer paper bags, basically, is what I've seen. Which Trader Joe's has always had paper bags for purchase. Like, they haven't had plastic bags in, I don't ever. Like, if you buy bags from Trader Joe's, you're getting paper bags anyway. I actually like them. I repurpose them for my recyclables. But all this to say, I had already gotten in the habit of using my reusable shopping bags. It's just completely habit now. There's these big old, like, canvas, burlappy tote bags from Trader Joe's, actually, that are really big. They're kind of got a little bit of a structure to them. They're perfect for groceries. So I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good to go. So I park at Aldi. I walk up to the shopping carts. I've got my quarter out of my wallet. And I look to see, well, there's no one around, which blessing or curse, I still don't know. But I'm like, okay, I see this lot where the quarter goes. That implies something very, very different than what actually was happening. I'm really stepping in it with how I'm phrasing things today. We're just going to keep on rolling. Oh man, I need to go to bed. Now I'm just completely flustered and sidetracked. Okay. I see where I'm supposed to put the quarter in to get my shopping cart, and it looks very self-explanatory to me. So I push the quarter into the slot, and nothing happens. And I see where there's this like chain that comes out the back of the quarter slot and attaches to the shopping cart in front of it. And I think, okay, so something's supposed to be happening with this. And I start kind of tugging on it, pushing on it, like just fiddling with this thing, like something's supposed to be happening here. I'm like trying to mess with the quarter too, to be like, did I push it in far enough? Did I miss something? I'm like looking all around it. Once again, no one is around. I, to this day, don't know if I wish someone would have been around to show me, or if I'm relieved no one was around to see how mortified I was that I could not figure this out. This was a social anxiety person's nightmare situation. I've gone into this new situation. I thought I knew what I needed to know, and it's not working. I can't figure out what's wrong. So I think, okay, well, let me go try the other carts. I know there's another cart corral on the like around the other side of the store. Let me get my quarter back. I can't get my quarter out. My quarter's stuck in this little quarter slot. And I thought, well, I walked away. I almost walked back to my car and just left, but I thought, nope. This was a 20-minute drive. I'm not leaving. What am I going to do? I'm just going to walk into the store with my tote bag and I will just shop into my tote bag. Okay. I saw a couple other people there in the store that were doing the same thing. I thought, okay, they're not going to think I'm robbing the store or something. So, and I'm just thinking, what? I didn't know I needed to like watch a YouTube video and more thoroughly research this before showing up at the store. And I have no idea why it didn't work. I mentioned this to a couple of friends, and I talked about it in my Patreon vlog, and I had a couple of people be like, oh no, sometimes the shopping carts, it just gets old, and that can happen. That can be fiddly, and it doesn't want to work, and you have to like really push it in forcefully and kind of mess with it. I'm like, of course, the first cart that I try at Aldi ever has this issue. So that was great. And then I get this, it doesn't even end there, actually. Then I go to check out, and first off, I see that the cashiers, that they're sitting, which I'm like, oh, that's so nice. They get to sit. They don't have to stand. Apparently in Europe, it's much more common. I remember this actually from when I was in France, but the cashiers get to sit, like because why shouldn't they be able to sit? There's no reason they have to stand. But the cashier saying, I was like, oh, that's nice. But then she starts ringing my stuff up, and I'm like, there's no counter or staging area after her for her to set down the stuff that she scanned. And the person in front of me I had seen had just pushed his cart up and set it there, and she just loaded things straight into the cart and not into bags. So I hurriedly like dump all my stuff onto the conveyor belt and run up with my tote bag, and she's just handing things straight to me that I'm just dropping into my tote bag. I only had maybe 7 or 8 things, but it was still awkward. And I thought, this was awkward. I feel a little bit like there's a secret language here that I don't speak, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't like feeling dumb. I don't like feeling like I'm like breaking a societal contract of what's supposed to be happening here. I'm like, they should have posted some rules on the outside of the store. Here's the like expectations. I should have known better. I thought that I had all the information that I needed. I should have Googled this and really tried to understand this before I went to the store. But it was just so not what I was expecting that I was just so flustered when I got to my car. And I thought, well, I got a handful of things that did seem like they were really great deals. Am I going to go back? Probably. But like, I want to see if I can get a local friend to go with me and be like, just be another person there to help me figure out the carts. I'll feel so much less dumb if I have just someone else there with me. Bonus points if I can find a friend that has actually gone to Aldi. So maybe I'll text Stephanie this week and be like, so, you gone to Aldi? If not, you want to go with me? I can figure this out with me. Yeah. So that was my misadventure at Aldi. And I hope whoever went to go get that shopping cart was able to figure it out and enjoyed their free quarter. I mean, it was a public service, is what we'll call it. So feel free to share your Aldi tips and tricks down below. Okay, thanks. So that was my little misadventure of the week. I did find some really, really good deals at Grocery Outlet this week, though. I love finding a good deal, and I love talking about it. It's like, oh my gosh, it's the thrill of the hunt. It's the thrill of the hunt. So that's apparently my current hyper fixation. What else this week? So this was a like, okay, let's take care of my body kind of week in terms of like doctor stuff. I was able to get an early doctor's appointment. An opening had come up, and I was able to see my doctor about my shoulder. And the thing is that it was virtual. I couldn't get an in-person one like more than less than like a few weeks out. So we talked virtually, and she basically was like, yeah, there's only so much I can tell without you being here physically. She said, but let's do this. She said, have you been doing your exercises? And I just blinked at her. And she said, I just started laughing. She said, I know. She's like, I'm the worst patient when it comes to doing this stuff too. She said, I want you to do your exercises, start doing them, and then let's meet in person. Let's set up an appointment for you to come in person in a month. And then we can talk and see. And then I can like see you in person and kind of check out your shoulder here, and we can go from there. I said, okay. So doctor's orders, I need to be doing my physical therapy exercises for the next month. And yes, so there was that. And then I had a whole thing where and I'm annoyed that this happened like the night after I had this appointment, because I noticed that I had a freckle that was darker than I remember, which is like red flag, right? I've had one spot removed before that I noticed had changed, ended up being nothing, but it's kind of better safe than sorry. But I noticed this and I was like, whoa, that is definitely darker. And I think it's like feeling a little raised. I was a little concerned. So I emailed my doctor. She didn't have any availability this week, but she's like, you could come in and see the PA if you wanted. So I did. This is the nicest PA I've ever seen in my life, and I'm keeping her like in my back pocket to go to whenever my doctor's not available, because she was fantastic. And so she went ahead and she was like, I'm not really worried about this, but I'm going to go ahead and refer you out to a dermatologist. And she talked a little bit about, she's like, you do have very fair skin. And this is kind of, the way she put it was, she thinks that every kind of skin tone has its own kind of issues. And she said, this is the one for fair skin with your freckles and stuff. So I have never done I never seen a dermatologist for skin or anything like that before. But I asked, I was like, am I at a point where maybe, should I start doing full body checks and stuff? Is this just a thing that comes with age or something? She just said, well, it wouldn't hurt. And I just had to kind of chuckle when I was going home thinking about between my shoulder and these freckles and stuff. I'm like, everything was fine until I hit my mid-30s. And now it's my body's going, and now we're going to start messing with you a little bit. So that's just great. But I'm trying to be responsible and take care of things, and we'll just see what happens. But that was fun. The dermatologist is booking I think 2 months out, she said. So I need to call this week. I was waiting for the insurance authorization to go through, but she said if you haven't heard back from them, by the end of the week, go ahead and just call them. So I'll call them tomorrow and we'll just go from there. But yeah. There's also been, I guess I won't go into a lot of detail just because I'm never really sure how to walk this line when it comes to talking about personal, family stuff. But we have had a lot of family drama this week that has had Adam away from home a lot, helping out with some stuff with his family. And that's just been a really big time and energy sink for him. And I've been trying to be really supportive of him and stuff. And yeah, I'm hoping maybe this week will be a little bit easier on that front, but it's hard when there's mental health issues at play and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's pulled Adam away quite a lot. But we've had some good family time this weekend, and should get some time tomorrow too with the kids being home from school and stuff. So I am glad for that. Let me see what else. Oh, did you guys see that Starbucks apparently released a couple of Valentine's Day drinks? I took one of my hoard of Christmas Starbucks gift cards that I'm very carefully portioning out and using to stretch as long as possible. And one of the drinks is a cold brew, which I really only will drink cold brew from Starbucks just because, well, from anywhere really, because the acidity in hot coffee, hot pressed coffee, because iced coffee, traditional iced coffee is still a problem. Because, are you going to try to come into frame again, Skip? I'm just checking out the box of all the fluffy stuff this tray came in. Coffee that's made where it's heat pressed, which includes iced coffee, the acidity is too high. It really bothers my stomach quite a lot, which if you've noticed this, I recommend you try cold brew because cold brew does not upset my stomach. So they have this Valentine's cold brew drink, which was white chocolate strawberry cold brew. And the flavor's in the cold foam. They don't add a sweetener or anything, any syrup to it. I was actually not really a fan of it. It was too much flavor going on for me. The other drink, what was it? Was it a matcha? Which it wasn't really, the other drink didn't really interest me, but I was curious to try the cold brew. I did. It had chocolate shavings on the top. It looked really pretty. I was is this just an Instagrammable drink? But no, my drink of choice is really just their standard vanilla sweet cream cold brew because they add just this splash of sweet cream to the iced coffee that doesn't have a ton of sugar and stuff to it, but just that splash of it adds so much sweetness to it. And I'm very much a would you like any coffee with that creamer kind of person. I like that flavor more than just a really strong coffee flavor. So yeah, that's my drink of choice. And the vanilla or the white chocolate strawberry was a little over the top for me, but I don't know. Have you guys tried it if you're a seasonal drink person? But that was fun to do. This week we also had the chance to go to Connor's. His choir had a winter concert. He's in a vocal class, and he really likes it. And this is the first time that they've done a concert that parents could come to. It used to be just the band and the strings would do a concert. This, I guess, is the first year that the choir has done it too. And so we were really excited to get to go. It was just at the school one morning this week, and Connor was, of course, just so excited to see us. And he's come a long way in terms of just musical ability, where he used to be very tone deaf, bless his heart. And now he has a lot more of a sense for it. And the vocal teacher seems to be just a really, really great guy that has great energy to him, and Connor really likes him a lot, which I love. So my music loving heart is happy to see him happy in there. I had always kind of hoped that he might go like the band route, just because that's something that I was a part of, and it had such a big impact on my life, especially in middle school and high school. But I was never going to be the parent that like was shoving my kids into a thing that I love just because I wanted to like relive it or something. I wanted it to be about what is he drawn to, what does he love. And he, at the beginning of the year, when we sat down and really talked about it, he's like, I really want to do vocal. It's like, okay, let's do that. So it was really fun. I was really happy to get to do that. I felt like such a stereotypical parent being like, I'm going to record everything and I'm just so proud and so happy to be here. And I was. So that was fun to get to do this week. And I guess they'll do another one in the spring, which I'll look forward to going to as well. And then Micah's been doing pretty well too. His teacher is finding a lot of really good ways to kind of help him with some of the things he's running into at school, with like eloping and some of his sensory seeking that's like more hitting and stuff. And he's coming along, and he still like just loves going to school. It feels like it's such a good fit for him and everything, which has been really good too. Yeah, just generally the kids are all right. the kids are all right. And then as far as what I have been reading and watching and listening to, you guys, it's happening. Do you know what's happening right now? I'm out of my audiobook slump. I'm out of my traditional reading slump. Can you believe it? I thought this day would never come. It's been a long time. I don't think it's been quite a year. It's been a while. So sorry for the cut there. I think that this came about mostly because I engaged with some content that had to do with Brandon Sanderson's announcement of signing a deal with Apple TV for a couple of his series. And one of them, he is saying he's hope is going to be a feature, like a film. And the other he's thinking will be more like a TV show. And so I had, reacted to a couple of posts about that. And then I started seeing some of those like pop up in my Facebook Reels, Shorts, whatever they call them on the Facebook side. And it just kind of got my mind going a little bit, at least subconsciously, unconsciously, about I want to go and finish the Mistborn trilogy. So I think the cat has the poop zoomies. see if he starts meowing upstairs next. So I thought I really want to go back and finish the Mistborn trilogy. I've read the first two, and the second one ended on kind of a cliffhanger, but it had been long enough since I had read it that I thought, let me go look up a recap, see what I think. And so I watched a recap on YouTube of the second book, and then just went ahead and started on the third book, and I'm listening to it quite a bit the past couple of days. And it feels very easy. I was nervous. I was like, ooh, it's been so long. Am I going to have a hard time feeling like I'm kind of getting back into the rhythm of listening to an audiobook and stuff? And no, it's felt very, very easy. And I'm just really enjoying it. So it's nice to feel like I'm out of my reading slump, at least for this book. I'm looking forward to finishing this series and seeing how it ends. I don't know if there's going to be like another kind of cliffhanger to it, or if it's really kind of like the end of this particular arc. I'll keep it spoiler free when I talk about it here, of course. But the third book is called The Hero of Ages, and I'm a few hours into it on the audiobook side. Of course, I listened to it at like 1.85 speed. I'll probably try to work up to 2 times speed. Some of you guys I know listen to audiobooks at an even higher speed than that, but I tend to not go much higher than 2 times speed, depending on the narrator. But Yeah, glad to be back into it. And I'm not very good at predicting Brandon Sanderson's twists, like in how he writes. So I'm just kind of along for the ride and looking forward to seeing where it goes and not trying to guess everything that I think is going to happen. I'm just kind of, yeah, along for the ride and enjoying it. So, yeah, we'll see. I might have it finished by my WIP and Chat next week. It just kind of depends on how much listening I sneak in both during the day and in the evenings around filming and stuff like that. But that's the nice thing about audiobooks is being able to put them on while I'm diamond painting. It's very easy to multitask that way and do both at the same time. Watching, I was not able to really watch the Super Bowl or the halftime show or anything today, but I've heard really great things about the halftime show, so I'd like to go back and see if I can find a good recording of it. But just with the kids, Micah especially wanted to do a lot with me today. So I thought, well, I just am not gonna watch while it's live or anything, and that's really okay. I'll catch some clips and stuff tomorrow, but that's on my list to watch this week for sure. And then listening to, well, this is kind of listening to adjacent, but I really enjoyed the music video that Taylor Swift released this week for her song Opalite. I'm like, this is my favorite thing I think that's actually come out of this album cycle, this era. I feel like I'm gonna get in so much trouble if there's any other diehard Swifties here. Listen, I am a huge Taylor Swift fan and have been since nearly the beginning. I was late on the debut train, but Fearless, I was all in. But The Life of a Showgirl, it may be my least favorite Taylor Swift album. I really hope that you love it and everything. It's just, there's things about it that are very grating to me that I just go, it's not for me. I'm not sitting here saying I could do any better or being critical of Taylor Swift. Exactly. But I also think you can be a fan of somebody and not like and support 100% of what they do. Like, you can critique someone or just be like, oh, I didn't really like this thing, or I didn't think this other thing was a great decision or something. And I still consider myself a genuine fan and a big fan. But this music video for Opalite, I thought was delightful. Adam even watched it and liked it. It was so much fun. I loved the camp of it and the story behind it, which is that she was on the Graham Norton show, and Dominic Gleeson, is that his name? Someone made a joke about his dancing or something, and he kind of was being self-deprecating. He's like, yeah, my dream is to be in a Taylor Swift music video someday. And it cuts to her, and you see the light bulb going off in her brain, and it come to find out that a week later she sends him the script for the story idea that she got on the spot for a music video, and it was for this. And she got everyone that was on the Graham Norton show with them that day to make an appearance in the music video in one way or another, including Graham Norton himself, and most surprisingly to me of all, Cillian Murphy. I was like, Cillian Murphy? Oscar award Cillian Murphy? Playing all this more serious roles and stuff. And she got him to show up in this very campy, silly thing. It was delightful. I loved it. I was like, well, here's something that is my taste that came out of this particular album of hers. So that's my own opinion. If, again, Adam even liked it, and that's, I feel like, saying something too. So you guys will have to let me know if you've watched the music video and what your thoughts are. It just went up on YouTube today. It was a Apple Music and Spotify Premium exclusive for a couple of days, and now it's on YouTube too. I don't know, but yes. What's my next color? See, there's lots of confetti, but oh, look how that's coming together. I've been looking in camera. With doing these darker colors, you really see his profile and his eyes and stuff come together. Where's the letter E? There we go. And okay, so that's my reading and watching and listening to. I have still been video gaming, but I don't get to co-opt any of these categories for that this week because I actually had something to say for all of these. But no, I'm still playing Horizon Zero Dawn and enjoying that quite a lot. But that may slow down a little bit as I'm eager to listen to my audiobook while I diamond paint. We'll see how it goes. It's all about balance with your hobbies, right? I say as diamond painting has been my chief hobby for years and years and years now. And this week for videos, I guess I actually chatted about this towards the beginning of this video, but I will have my fairy tales and folklore video going up this Saturday. And I think it's going to be Hades and Persephone themed. If you're doing anything for Valentine's Day or Singles Awareness Day, I hope that you have a really good weekend with that. Adam and I might try to go to a thing, but I don't know. We're going to keep it pretty budget friendly and close to home, I think. But otherwise, I don't know if I'll have a sneak peek from DAC that kind of just at least see from week to week how that goes. And I think I will have some info about, I think I have a Pure Bliss Wax Company Valentine's drop coming, and I want to make sure I get info to you about that, but she, I think, just put it in the mail for me, so we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that too. And yeah, so that said, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, what should we do for our emoji this week? How about a book emoji? Since I broke my reading slump, feel free to let me know what you're reading and or watching and listening to if you wanted. Let me know what you were working on while we chatted today. We put a decent dent in this section. I hope you enjoyed getting to work on a section with, well, some interesting things going on and not just like random confetti down in a corner. I saved this one just for you guys. My thoughts on these products. So this tray was great. The door is maybe just a tiny bit like fiddly, like it wanted to slide back shut a little bit sometimes, but that's just going to be the nature of these, I think. More importantly, what I really care about is the drills lined up really neatly and easily, and they poured out really easily. Like they didn't get stuck in the grooves at all, which was great. The putty and wax I've used before, and I've worked with a lace and lathe work pen too, so none of these are new to me. This wax is more recent. It's not Tremama's Mud from Whimsical Daisies is the shop name, and it basically acted just like, you know, my normal wax from them that I've also used. So yeah, I'll link all these shops below, and I'll link to this kit. It's currently out of stock, but you can sign up for a back in stock notification if you want. And hopefully you'll be able to snag it if and when it does come back into stock. But that's it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like I mentioned at the beginning, if you enjoyed this video, especially if you made it all the way to the end and you're not already subscribed, I'd invite you to subscribe. I'd love to have you here. And if you're already subscribed, thanks for coming back week to week. I hope you guys are doing very, very well. Have a day and a week as wonderful as you are, and I will chat with you in the next one. Bye, guys.